Wayne Gretzky wasn't referred to as the Great One for nothing. His success in the hockey world is clearly exhibited in his statistical number and accomplishments over the years, along with the fact that he is the only player to have his number, the legendary number 99, retired league-wide. He currently holds 61 NHL records that are considered untouchable due to such high numbers, along with multiple scoring titles and awards that go on forever. Finally, he was able to cap off his incredible career with 4 Stanley Cup championships and established his legendary status. In attempts to derive the roots of such success, we find it clearly evident that the factors found in the Book of Outliers are reflected throughout Wayne Gretzky's life. Gretzky was born on January 26th of 1961. This expounds on the point made in Outliers about how being born in the earliest times of the cutoff dates of sports provide an edge in one's success. His birthday not only gave him an edge in his own age groups cut off by every year, but it also allowed for him to play in the NHL during the 80s and 90s, which was considered the high-scoring age. With less efforts in training goalies, the smaller and less effective pads of goaltenders, and a less effective defensive strategy being used during these times, Wayne Gretzky was able to strive much farther than he may have been able to in today's age. The goals per game average during Gretzky's time in the league ranged at a high of around 7.25, allowing Gretzky to score a record 92 goals in just 80 games. Gretzky also holds the record for most goals and most assists in a career. Today, the league has significantly less goals scored in a game, now that the league is placing new rules and regulations into the game. Even Gretzky himself had stated in a recent interview that if he had been playing in today's post-lockout age, he would have far less points. In addition, Gretzky played for the Edmonton Oilers, a dynasty at the time. This explosive team not only fostered Gretzky's growth and allowed him to continuously become better, but also allowed Gretzky to feed off of the talents of many other legendary players such as Mark Messier, who is third all-time in points in the league. Mark Messier, who is also considered one of the best players in history, had a point-per-game average of 1.07 and racked up over 1,800 points in his career. To put that into perspective, Gretzky had an astonishing 1.92 point-per-game average and put up over 2,800 points. In today's game, a player with a point-per-game average of 0.5 is considered to be a top player on their respective team. The overall scenario and conditions Gretzky was blessed into largely reflects the factors of the Matthew effect, as those who are placed into a fortunate scenario will continue to benefit and gain more. Gretzky was born in Brantford, Ontario. His father was Walter Gretzky, a former avid hockey player and NHL analyst. As the son of Walter, Wayne Gretzky grew up constantly playing hockey, allowing him to easily reach the 10,000-hour mark discussed in Outliers. Furthermore, if you live in Canada, you will probably learn how to skate at an early age as a result of being surrounded by snow and ice for the majority of the year. In addition, Gretzky's family deliberately moved into a house on Veradi Avenue in Brantford 7 months after Wayne was born, due to the fact that its yard was flat enough to make an ice rink every winter. With the rink right in his backyard, along with having a father that was an avid enthusiast of the sport, Wayne was able to skate almost every single day for hours while receiving coaching from his father. With Gretzky tying up his skates for the first time at the age of 2, he most likely reached the 10,000-hour mark far before he was drafted into his junior team. Not only did financial stability play a factor into Gretzky's success, but the full support he had from his family allowed for him to pursue his dreams. Hockey tends to be very costly, with all the equipment and basic costs to be on a club team. Gretzky was also fortunate to be born into a wealthy family that had access to all necessities, allowing him to solely focus on his goal of reaching his potential in hockey. When Gretzky was 14, his family arranged for him to play hockey in Toronto, partly to further his career and partly to remove him from being in the uncomfortable pressure he faced in his hometown due to the fame and legal issues of being held down to a particular team by a contract. In addition to the support of his family, the legacy and respect that Wayne's father had for hockey was inevitably passed on to Wayne, allowing him to have the same values placed for the sport. Deriving from such legacy was Gretzky's love for the game and humbleness. As the book Outliers touched on about the right type of work, it is simply common sense that if one were to love their job as much as Wayne Gretzky had, he or she would feel true purpose in his or her work, making it more likely that he or she will work hard. Wayne Gretzky was able to establish himself as possibly the most successful player to ever play the game through his statistical data, but his humbleness embedded into his personality allowed for him to gain the respect of millions of fans and expanded the game of hockey onto levels never thought possible.